Ann Arbor's Talk Station, 1290 WLBY, and the Lucy Ann Lance Show on this Saturday. And Damian Farrell from Damian Farrell Design Group, an extraordinary architect, back with us. Today we're going to talk home design trends.
Yeah.
Survey says?
The survey says that outdoor living emerges as the most popular special function room.
Outdoor living.
Outdoor living.
Using the outdoors as an extension of your house.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how do you do that without actually putting up walls and making a room?
I think it's challenging climate to climate. Michigan, what we are seeing is this continued love affair with the fire pit and the gathering around a fire pit. But now it's gone, you can go buy them, right? As we all know, you can just go to Ace Hardware or somewhere else and buy a fire pit and get some chairs around it. But what we're seeing is an integrated design of terracing, stone, garden design that integrates all of this. And I think that's really what this trend is talking about. That it's not just a deck with chairs or a porch with chairs on it, a screen porch. No, it's a very deliberate part of the garden, and it's a part of indoor and outdoor spaces. And then for us here in Michigan, in our winters, what I tell our clients is it's a place to look at in the winter time. That when it gathers the snow is sculptural. So that there's a visual enjoyment of these kind of spaces in the wintertime and an actual physical enjoyment in the summertime.
Okay.
I think very distinct, and I love that, and that's why I love to do things like grasses and forms, plant forms around these outdoor areas that hold this shape in the snow. And then you put in some creative lighting and you start to get really beautiful views, things to look at.
You have to think of your yard in the four seasons that it occurs here in Michigan.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can you conceivably, budget-wise, do for an outdoor space? I mean, I know they run the gamut. I was talking with one builder here in Ann Arbor. He did a project up in Brighton, all stone, all beautiful brick instead of decking.
Yeah.
And he said it was $150,000.
Oh no, you can spend a fortune, and we've done it and seen it. But the cool thing about it, it is possible for anyone who's into DIY and who likes to do the stuff around the house. This is very, very doable stuff. It's not that hard to learn how to lay pavers. It's not that hard to run a gas line if you want a gas line starter out to your fire pit, or how to build a bench out of materials like Trex decking, the stuff that has done so well and doesn't flake, and you don't have to paint and so on. This is great handyman, handywoman stuff. You can do this stuff on your own. And I think that's where this popularity has increased as well, is that it is something, and it's fun because you see what you're doing.
Yeah,
the results are right there.
That's true. Yeah.
You get to go rent the truck from Home Depot, and you buy all the pavers and load it on, drive it home, unload it. You know what I mean? You can see the picture, right?
Commercials make it look so easy.
They do. But it is something you can learn about, and there's so many materials. Go to like our local here in Ann Arbor, Fent, and look at the yard and at all the pavers that are available, all the retaining wall systems, all the ways to make planter blocks, to the ways to surround your fire pit. So much great stuff.
Any particular paver or blocking or anything like that is better here in Michigan?
No, everything that's available locally is great.
Just your taste is
It's just your taste. You've got nice color palettes now, different shapes, sizes, different kinds of finish, from a more sleek contemporary look to a more traditional tumbled, older look. It's all there. It's great. It's great.
I think you have to have easy access to your backyard too. So you may want to consider some kind of changes to how you get there, right?
Access is always important. Yeah. So your pathway, and that can, all of this I think plays into, we need to design our outdoor spaces much more as part of our indoor spaces, even in winter climates. Because I do think that they're an important part of creating a view. What do you look at in the winter time?
That's a good point.
The idea of courtyard, things that are lit up, so at night, because it does get so dark, right, so quickly. But so if there's something lit out in your landscape that draws your eye out, and you still get that space from inside flowing to outside, visually during those long nights and those early dark mornings.
Right.
There's a very, very definite enhancement you can have in your home.
Okay. So the trend is outdoors, making these special rooms outdoors. What else did you see in trends? And this is from the American Institute of Architects, which has released this study.
Right. Two other big things. The home office has continue to grow, and we see that 100% of the time in our work now. And the little desk in the kitchen is no longer. The idea of a 3-foot area where you have a filing drawer, it just doesn't function. It can't work for today's families, even for empty nesters. So a home office, they are still the traditional, sort of, I have this image, this sort of Ralph Lauren green, with the big heavy desk sitting in the middle of the room and the credenza and armoire behind that's never used. It's that room you so often see, you walk in an entryway and it's parked there.
Right.
What we like to see are offices that are more actually like a traditional work cube in a sense, that might have an L-shaped workspace or just a linear workspace that is actually functional. You can sit down, plug your computer in, you've got some drawers, you've got space to work, you've got storage in there, and it's about the function, not about the room being a big decorated item. So they're compact, which is also great because they don't take up a lot of room when you're planning a home.
So having Wi-Fi and having laptops and our iPads, that hasn't changed the scenario of needing a room to be in, because it seems like many of us are working from every single room in the house.
I look at my own patterns. If I'm doing stuff that's sort of casual, if you will, then I'm quite happy sitting on the sectional in the family room with my laptop on my knee. And the TV might be on, and I might be putzing through and doing some research. But if I'm working, then I go to my small 11x7 office in my house, and that's all it is. Catherine and I each have an 11x7 room. I sort of researched that, what did I need as a minimum space to function? And that's what we both needed, and it works great. We both love those spaces, and we've carried that formula through in many projects.
It keeps you focused on the task
It does keep,
at hand.
It does. So you're at home, but you have an office and you're working there. And then mudrooms, and that gets down to storage for me. We are doing probably maybe 3 or 4 remodels right now on older homes here in Ann Arbor that are shy on storage. And the mudroom is such a wonderful catch-all space because you can do big storage for what I call the Costco shopping. Great place to store paper towel, toilet paper, Kleenex, all of those kinds of things. Larger quantities of foodstuffs that are bound or wrapped, right? But then there's also the place for your coats and your boots.
And how great to walk in with that stuff from your shopping expedition, and you don't have to drag it through the entire house to put it away.
No, because there's this trend, because we have access to so much shopping. Food-wise, our food shopping, it hasn't changed for large families, but as we get older and we become more empty nesters, food shopping becomes more, not sporadic, more small shops more frequently.
Right.
But the big stuff for the house, cleaning equipment, look at the containers that our washing soap comes in.
Right.
Huge stuff. So where do we put all that stuff in a compact house? Mudrooms, it's 22% of the demand is what the AIA survey is showing. That's a lot when you figure that there are 3 items: outdoor living, home office, and mudroom constitute 70% of what people are asking for in homes, and then the rest is divvied up among a number of other things.
Consider that if you're thinking of remodeling your own home.
Absolutely.
These are the essentials right now, and this is how we live.
Yeah.
Great talking with you, Damian.
Great talking with you always.
Damian Farrell from Damian Farrell Design Group on the air with us with the Damian on Design each week here on the Lucy Ann Lance Show, 1290 WLBY.